Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I am Solomon Offem, and here are the top stories. Peter Obi dismisses rumors of being running mate for Atiku Abubakar in 2027. Almost 85% of coalition leaders have failed Nigerians, YPP says. Nigeria at risk over Trump's proposed extra 10% tariff against BRICS. 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. Natasha set to resume Senate duty on Tuesday after court ruling. Olubadan Obawolabi Olakulenyi dies at 90. On international news, Netanyahu will visit US as Trump put pressure to agree Gaza ceasefire deal. And in sports, Super Falcons outlast Tunisia 3-0 to kickstart WAFCON campaign. Those are the top stories. Details coming up now. We begin the world news with politics, where opposition arrowhead Peter Obi says he will contest for the office of the president in 2027, dismissing rumors that he will be running mate for Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP). He said this in a TV interview when asked by the interviewer Shehu Kimbalue whether he was considering becoming the running mate to Atiku in the 2027 election. The former Anambra State governor stressed that he remained a vibrant member of the Labour Party, though he is an active member of the African Democratic Congress (ADC) coalition adopted by the opposition to unseat President Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress (APC), who is eyeing a second term of 4 years in office in 2027. Obi also said he does not need more than 4 years to provide good governance for all Nigerians.
Thinking of being a running mate to Atiku, is that the case right now? That's your intention?
Again, Shehu, this is not in play. Nobody have ever discussed that.
You know why I'm asking?
People assume so many things. Nobody have ever discussed with me whether I'm going to be A or B or C. Shehu, I'm going to contest for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I believe I'm qualified for it.
You know the reason why I'm asking this? The coalition has been touted as Atiku-led coalition. And there are those who think that organization of coming together, that marriage is for an Atiku platform to run.
People just assume anything in this country. And I don't believe in assumption. I don't live with it. I'm part of a coalition which will be able to produce a competent president with the capacity, compassion to save this country.
Ahead of the 2027 poll, talks about an inter-party alliance reached a climax on Wednesday, July 2, 2025, when opposition arrowhead Atiku Abubakar, alongside Obi, ex-Senate President David Marks, ex-Minister Ralph Aregbesola, ex-Minister Rotimi Amechi, ex-Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai, amongst others, opted and adopted the ADC as the platform of the opposition coalition to oust incumbent Tinubu, whose administration has been accused of mismanaging the economy with all-time high inflation and unprecedented cost of living. The coalition is banking on the numerical strength of the votes recorded by Atiku and Obi in the last poll. In 2023, Atiku of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and Labour Party so became second and third respectively, with combined votes of over 12 million, more than 4 million above the total votes recorded by Tinubu, who was declared the winner by electoral umpire INEC. Meanwhile, the national chairman of the Young Progressive Party (YPP), Bishop Amakari, has criticized the opposition coalition, stating that the majority of its leaders have failed Nigerians in the past. He also said that they lacked the moral authority to offer meaningful political change. Amakari also described the coalition as a recycled group of political elites whose past performances had contributed to Nigeria's leadership crisis. The YPP leader described the coalition as one filled with political power mongers who were primarily interested in reclaiming power for selfish purposes. Amakari questioned the viability of any group that consisted largely of those who had already failed the nation. He likened the coalition to a repeat of events in 2015 when, according to him, a similar alignment of political actors succeeded only in unseating a functioning government without offering better leadership. Asked to respond to claims that even some of his party members had defected to the coalition, Amakari defended the YPP's ideological stance and long-term strategy. Away from politics, Nigeria's struggling economy is likely to take a fresh turn down if the United States President Donald Trump follows through with his threats to impose an extra trade tariff on countries aligning with BRICS. The word BRICS is coined from the names of the pioneer nations of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which came together under an informal grouping of emerging economies. It also comprised 6 coalition members such as Egypt, Ethiopia, the United Arab Emirates UAE, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia, which joined in 2024. Trump lashed out at the 11 members of BRICS on Sunday, vowing to impose an extra 10% tariff on the group. Nigeria is one of the countries aligning with BRICS. Nigeria was formally admitted as the 9th BRICS partner country in January 2025, a status introduced at the 16th BRICS summit in October 2024. President Bola Tinubu arrived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil on Saturday for the 17th summit of BRICS countries. President Tinubu is attending the summit at the invitation of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil on the strength of Nigeria's status as a partner country, a membership category short of full status. As a partner country, Nigeria can participate in BRICS meetings, summits, and initiatives contributing to discussions and official documents. At least 10 Nigerian states collectively increased their domestic debt by 417.7 billion naira year-on-year, despite a significant rise in revenue allocations from the Federation Account Allocation Committee. A review of official data has shown. An analysis of the Debt Management Office's quarterly report on subnational debt reveals that Rivers, Enugu, Niger, Taraba, Bauchi, Benue, Gombe, Edo, Kwara, and Nasarawa states raised their combined debt stock from 884.9 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024 to 1.3 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2025. This represents a 47.2% year-on-year increase, raising questions about fiscal prudence and the long-term sustainability of borrowing at the state level. The data also shows that 10 states' combined domestic debt increased quarter-on-quarter from 1.26 trillion naira in the fourth quarter of 2024 to 1.30 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2025, an additional 42.3 billion naira, representing a 3.4% increase in just 3 months. The rise in indebtedness comes at a time when FAAC disbursement to states have improved considerably, fueled by rising oil prices, gains from naira devaluation, and revenue freed up from petrol subsidy removal. However, the figures suggest that rather than leveraging these inflows of reduced debt, some states are borrowing even more. Rivers State topped the list with a domestic debt stock of 364.39 billion naira as at the first quarter of 2005, the highest among the 10 states. While the figure remained unchanged from the fourth quarter of 2024, it marked a year-on-year increase of 131.82 billion naira, or 56.7% compared to 232.58 billion naira in the first quarter of 2024. Following a court order and recall of the Red Chamber to the Red Chamber, the suspended senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, stated that she will resume legislative duties in the Senate on Tuesday. The lawmaker disclosed this via her social media handle and also appreciated her supporters for standing in with her. Her comment followed Friday's judgment by a federal high court sitting in Abuja, which declared her 6-month suspension from the Senate as unconstitutional, excessive, and a violation of her constituency's right to representation. Justice Bintan Yako, who presided over the matter, ruled that the suspension lacked constitutional backing and ordered the immediate reinstatement of Akpoti-Uduaghan. The court, however, also found the senator guilty of contempt for a Facebook post described as a satirical apology addressed to Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Recall that Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended by the Senate in March after a controversial plenary session that turned rowdy over disagreements about seating arrangements in the chamber, and days later the controversy deepened when she accused Senate President Akpabio of sexual harassment during a live television interview. In her ruling, Justice Nyako stated that lawmakers are required by the Constitution to attend at least 181 sitting days in a legislative year, and warned that long suspensions without due process undermine democratic governance. The court also criticized the Senate disciplinary processes, urging the National Assembly to review its internal rules to confirm the constitutional principles and ensure fair hearing. And on a sad note, the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Owolabi Olakulenyi, has passed away. The monarch died in the early hours of Monday at the age of 90. His death comes at the peak of celebrations for his 90th birthday and the first anniversary of his reign as Olubadan of Ibadan land. He succeeded the late Oba Lekan Balogun. The late Olakulenyi was installed as the 43rd Olubadan on June 14, 2024, after succeeding Oba Balogun. Oba Olakulenyi celebrated his birthday on Saturday, July 5. Last Friday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu issued a statement felicitating the monarch on his 90th birthday, which fell on July 5, and the first anniversary of his coronation as the 43rd Olubadan of Ibadan land, which occurred on July 12. President Tinubu described Oba Olakulenyi as a foremost traditional ruler, custodian of culture and tradition, and a revered elder statesman who has devoted his life to serving humanity and preserving Yoruba tradition, identity, and values. Olakulenyi ventured into politics in 1992, contested and won a seat in the House of Representatives under the platform of the Social Democratic Party SDP, representing the Ibadan Southeast constituency. During his tenure, he served as chairman of the House Committee on the Nigerian Army. You are currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on the Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We will take a short break. When we return, we head into the news analysis segment. You're still on to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We're on to the analysis segment now, where we have Peter Anosike, a current affairs analyst. He's also an academic doctor on consulting and profit management from Brainerd University, Delaware University, United States, rather. Dr. Anosike, thank you for joining us on the news analysis this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's start with the Peter Obi interview, where, of course, this is a question that's been on everyone's mind when a lot of people were not expecting him to be part of the coalition because of Atiku there. And then when he became part of the coalition, the questions on everyone's mind was, how will this play out? Who is going to be the presidential candidates of the party, of the coalition? And the rumor has been, okay, Atiku's ambition has always been high, of him wanting to be the president. So we don't see him stepping down for Peter Obi. And then another rumor swirled that, oh, maybe Peter Obi wants to start by being the vice president and then later becomes the president. And of course, he has come out now to clarify that he is coming contesting as president, of under the coalition in 2027. So, what do you think about that?
Well, for me, everybody has the right to exercise ambition. So P2B has the right to declare for the presidency of the country. It is within his right. So do other members of the coalition. Yeah, but I always like to face facts. I know that among those in the coalition now, understand, going by character, P2B tops them all, understand me? P2B tops them all. But in politics, or the best don't always win. And that's been factual.
Yeah.
In politics, or the best don't always win. P2B is the best among the worst, understand? But that is what is known as the right of first refusal. And this is always given to the highest political office holder in any arrangement, in any agreement. And in the coalition now, Atiku has that right of first refusal because he has attained a higher political position than every other member of the
coalition,
being a former vice president.
A two-term former vice president. As a matter of fact.
So I have said this in different fora that there's no way Atiku will step down for P2B unless if Atiku is not interested in running. Because one, by age, Atiku will be 80 by 2027, understand me? And he has been a former vice president.
I mean, he's been in politics forever.
Not even matter of forever. He has been, some have been forever and had not even attained a governor of a state. So he has become a former vice president soon. And so I don't see Atiku stepping down for P2B. It will even be a shock if Atiku would agree. If it will be a shock to P2B if Atiku said, I'm stepping down for you. Unless I say, I don't want to run, go ahead. Understand me? And the man do in 2014, it was a contest among Buhari, Atiku and all that, but Buhari had the highest votes. Understand me? That was how Buhari was declared the winner in 2014. And the beauty of democracy is competition. So P2B said that he's not going to step down. Atiku may also say, I will not step down. So they will now go for a contest. And the members of the coalition will vote. Whoever wins carries on the day. That's that. So we shouldn't be sentimental about this. What should be in the mind of every good Nigerian is a change of the party in power, because we shouldn't continue this way. Understand? And I even believe that Atiku Obi ticket is a strong ticket. I strongly believe that Atiku Obi ticket will still be a very strong ticket. Understand? So people are saying P2B or nothing, P2B or nothing. Tinubu is not an alternative. Understand me? Tinubu is not an alternative. Tinubu must not be an alternative. So if you say if P2B did not win the coalition ticket, then what else? Would you vote for Tinubu? That becomes my question, which means you want continuation of the suffering. Understand me?
No, but here's the thing that's mind-boggling, though. Atiku have not even come out to say anything, despite this rumor. And so far, for the coalition, members. It's only Peter Obi and Rotimi Amechi that have come out, because Rotimi Amechi came out last week to say the same thing that Peter Obi is saying right now, that he's contesting for presidency, and just like Peter Obi 2 weeks before, he's ready to run. 4 years of a term is okay by him. So for now, it's been between Peter Obi and Amechi, and Atiku have not come out to even say anything. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
One, for me, Peter Obi is even talking too much. Understand me? Silence is the way to go in this game, because people cannot attack what they don't know.
But the rumors too aren't exactly doing him any favors.
Excuse me, you said that Atiku had not said anything, but I know that Gombe State, a branch of ADC, adopted Atiku yesterday as their candidate.
I mean, that's not him saying anything. It's a different ballgame if he comes out to say, I am also running for presidency.
Silence should be the watchword. People cannot attack what they don't know. Understand me? So for me, the issue of presidential, vice presidential is too early. Buhari did not emerge a presidential candidate in 2023. He emerged 2024 and to 2014, a year to 2025. So these people are now pushing them too hard. So what they should be thinking of is how to consolidate, how to wage the crisis that Tinubu Amechi is going to cause in the party, because Tinubu will cause a fracas in the party. Amechi, what's his name? Wike will cause trouble. So this should be their main challenge now. How do we contend with Nyesom Wike and with Tinubu in the party? Because they are going to sow bad seed in the party. So that should be their main concern, and not who is going to be vice and who is going to be president. Understand me? P2B is quantified. Atiku is quantified. But let them build a fortress first before thinking about who will become the presidential candidate. For me, P2B will do far better than Tinubu. Atiku will do far better than Tinubu.
In other words, in your opinion, whether it's Peter Obi or Atiku, someone just need to oust the APC and Tinubu.
That's the thing. Tinubu need to go in 2027.
Okay. So now, some analysts have said for the coalition to work and to be stronger and to be able to go toe-to-toe with APC, they need to already around one person as early as possible and start projecting that person as early as possible. And then, of course, when Peter Obi joined the coalition, some analysts were expecting that, okay, probably Peter Obi will be the person that the coalition will start projecting at this early stage. But with these three different factions, Peter Obi, Atiku, and Amechi, coming out that all of them will contest at the same time, doesn't that spell doom for the party even at this early stage?
Excuse me, in 2014, I'm a student of history. In 2014, Atiku contested for APC primaries, which Buhari won. Understand me? Why didn't it spell doom? So for me, 1 year, this is July 2025. Understand me? There should be, their convention is going to be 2026. So, and they have a whole year to project whoever they want that to project. Even then, P2B is already there, Atiku is already there. 2023, P2B scored 6.1 million. Atiku scored 6.9 million. So they are not greenhorns. We already know who they are.
We already know their political
antecedents. So projecting is just pushing them that to be making mistakes, getting J-trans and so forth. It is too early to talk about who is going to be what in their party. They should concentrate on building a fortress. Understand me? To wage a war against the bomb that Wike and Tinubu is going to throw at them. So that's my major concern now. But any of them will do far better than Tinubu. Nigeria must not continue in this suffering.
Now, from what we're hearing, and of course from what Peter Obi also said, that he's still a member of Labour Party, and then of course Atiku too is a member of PDP. How does that work? Maybe we need, a constitutional lawyer to come explain that for us. Can someone be in two parties at the same time?
Well, the issue is this: they have ADC is an amalgam.
Okay.
An amalgamation of different interests,
Okay.
different political parties. All of them have their basis.
Okay.
Understand me? But I have said before now, if P2B wants to run, it must not be in Labour Party.
Okay.
If Atiku wants to run, it must not be in PDP, because these two parties have been captured by APC.
Okay.
Understand me?
Okay.
The crisis in Labour Party will not end till 2027. The crisis in PDP will not end till 2027. Understand me? Because in Anambra now, the governorship candidate of Labour Party, George Morgan, belongs to the faction of Julius Abure.
The one that is a little loyal to the APC.
He is an APC man. Understand me? The governorship candidate of Labour Party in Anambra is an APC man. He served as a DG under Buhari, DG Inland Waterways. So he is an APC man. Understand me? So, and if P2B continues in Labour Party, by 2026, INEC will recognize Julius Abure's own faction, who he will throw up as a presidential candidate, and P2B will be disqualified. The same thing will happen to Atiku.
So in other words, they can do that now. They can belong to two parties, because ADC will definitely register as a political party, despite the fact that it is a coalition.
ADC is already there as a political party. ADC have been there for more than 20 years.
Exactly. So because I'm trying to understand the situation. Now he's a member of ADC and he's a member of Labour Party, just like Atiku is a member of ADC, a member of PDP. Does that continue to the election period, where if Atiku becomes the front runner of the ADC coalition, will he be running as ADC, or will he be running as PDP, or will he be running as both?
He's going to run as ADC.
That is if he officially did not resign from PDP.
All of them will resign officially. Okay,
when it's time for the election.
Yet, for now, their names are not in ADC. They are members of the umbrella.
Okay.
Understand me? So the P2B's name is in Labour Party. Understand me? And not in ADC, but he's a member of the amalgamation.
Okay.
Understand me?
Okay.
So there's no issue here. Understand me?
For now.
And don't help them to create anyone.
Okay. Now, the chairman of the Young Progressive Party, YPP, Bishop Amakri, have come out to criticize the coalition, stating that the majority of its leaders have failed Nigerians in the past. Of course, we saw the names of the coalition, and we know that, well, these people aren't exactly saints.
Saints don't contest election. A saint cannot be on a ballot box.
But if they also have history of Nigerians not really trusting them in the past, do you think they can trust them under this coalition simply because they've changed political party, or they are under the umbrella of a coalition?
Well, I don't understand what you mean by Nigerians not trusting them. So Atiku that scored 6.9 million votes just 2 years ago, does it mean that Nigerians don't trust him?
Well, at the end of the day, Tinubu won nonetheless.
No, Tinubu was declared, because we know that it is not the person that won that was declared. Understand? It's not the person that won that was declared. It's just like in Edo State, I know if you take a Bible to Monday or say, swear that you won the governorship election in Edo, he will not. Understand me? He will not. So, and for him, any political party that is not in this coalition is working for APC. Any political party in Nigeria that is not part of this coalition is working for APC. I'm telling you this. And again, he said that over 85% of coalitions had failed in the past. He's a liar. He doesn't know history. We have two types of coalition, pre and post.
Okay.
We had one post coalition in 1979, and that's NPP MPN Accord. That's Nnamdi Azikiwe and Shehu Shagari. Understand me? That was 1979 presidential election. That's post coalition. That's after election had been conducted. Understand? No party can form the majority, so other parties can come. Just now, what is happening in South Africa now?
Yes.
South Africa has a post coalition. So, but 2014, we have a pre coalition, which means parties coming together to contest an election as a one political platform. And so there's nothing like over 85% of coalition has failed in the past.
As in the coalition members, that's the people that formed this particular ADC coalition is what he's talking about.
Who and who has failed in the past?
Well,
can you compare the economy of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007? That's where Atiku presided. And can you compare it with what is happening now? Or can you compare what P2B did as a governor in Anambra to what is happening now? So the Amakiri may be another agent of APC, because APC it's only Ifeanyi that has contested under APC under YPP and won. And Ifeanyi did not win because of the party; he won because of himself.
Because of the personality.
Understand me? So we should be realistic. We shouldn't allow all these agents to be deceiving us.
So another talking point is 10 Nigerian states collectively increasing their debt, domestic debt by 417.7 billion naira. That's a lot of that year on year, despite a significant rise in revenue allocation from the Federal Account Allocation Committee. That a review of the official data have shown. And from looking down the statistics, we know that, of course, a few subsidy was removed, which means lots more money is coming into Nigeria and by extension the state. And of course, the analysis here said if there's anything, a lot of the money coming in, it should be enough for these governors and even at the federal level to be able to do some key projects and probably even reduce the debt profile that these states already have. But what we're seeing is the states are borrowing more, but then when you look at the infrastructure, when you look at things, you don't really, it doesn't really reflect, in the projects, that's going on in Nigeria. What do you think about that?
Excuse me, Mr. Solomon. You are allowing these people to deceive you. Understand me? There's nothing like more money coming in. About 3 years ago, they can use 5,000 naira to cook a pot of soup.
Yes.
Today, 20,000 naira can hardly cook a pot of soup. Understand me? When you are saying more money is coming in, what is the value of that money? This is where you begin to think. This is where you begin to analyze. Understand me? When they say that 2024 budget was 47 trillion, it was sounding so big. I was telling them, look, this 47 trillion converted to dollars, it is only 25 billion, which is not up to the budget of New York State in the United States. So this this more money, what is the value? Saying that states are getting more money, what is the value of that money?
No, but the fuel subsidy, it's not like the fuel subsidy is coming in naira. It is coming in dollars, which of course it's way more money. And of course the valuation of the naira even makes it more money for the federal and state government.
That's
not even less, which means comparatively the purchasing power is high, considering this money comes in dollars. I mean, we get the figures in naira, yes, but they receive this basically in dollars.
Governors do their budgets in naira, isn't it?
Yes.
So what is the value of that money compared to the things in the market? I know that about 10 years ago, a kilometer of road cost about 500 million. Mm-hmm. Today, a kilometer of road costs more than 2 billion.
Now, that can be explained when money is not coming in, when the money is stagnant. Okay, it's just
what's the value of the money that is coming in? What is the value of? So this is propaganda that Tinubu is using to create confusion in the states. That the states are getting more money. What is the value of that money? That inflation has made a mess of the money. It's just like civil servants now, who they say are now receiving 70,000. You think that it is big? They were better off when they were receiving 30,000.
Now, but don't you think at this time now, it's one thing for Tinubu and the federal government and the state government to be urging Nigeria to be patient, and they urging Nigeria
be patient for how many years? For 10 years.
Now, be patient with the economy and quote according to their size. That should even start even from the government. Why the need to borrow is the question. Why not work with the money you have? Whether the purchasing power has increased or the purchasing power has reduced, whether the money coming in is much or low, but do your budgets according to the money coming in. Why the need to borrow?
Excuse me, there's nothing wrong in borrowing. The question is, what do you do with the money that you borrow? That is the most important
which is
thing.
another question. But when you see what are the evidence to show that this money being borrowed is being utilized correctly?
Are you talking of the state or the federal government?
Both the state and the federal government. Of course, in this case, it's in the states now.
Tinubu is borrowing and sharing. Understand me? He is borrowing and wasting it. This is what Nnamdi Azikiwe called the government of squandermania. Understand me? That's what Zik called this kind of government. Government of squandermania. Okay, somebody like Sonudo said that he had not borrowed in the last 3 years, that he has been managing what he has, which is good. So for me, I'm not against the borrowing, but borrowing, what are you doing with the money that you are borrowing? If you are borrowing to establish infrastructure, understand me, which will in 3 years give you that money back so you can pay back. It is very good. But borrowing to share, as federal government is doing now they are under pressure. They are going to start sharing more. That's borrowing and sharing, which means Nigeria economy is going to get worse. If you want to borrow to invest, not borrow to consume. This government is borrowing and consuming. That's why our economy is getting worse every day by day. You borrow to invest and not borrow to consume or borrow to share, which is still that part of waste. Understand me?
Okay. So to round up now, away from that, Nigerians' struggling economy, according to this report, may take a fresh downturn if the U.S. President Donald Trump follows through with his threat to impose extra trade tariff in countries aligning with BRICS. First of all, what do you think of Nigeria aligning itself with BRICS? I mean, they're not like officially a member, but kind of like a sub-member.
Once you are attending a meeting of a group, understand? You are part of the group. Understand me? Because if they have attendance, your name will be there as somebody who attended.
Anyway, let's forget about the semantics. What's your impression of BRICS with Nigeria being aligning itself with
For me,
BRICS?
I know that Nigeria is among the non-allied nations. Understand me?
Okay.
Which means you can be a member of any group or organization that you feel will benefit you.
Okay.
Because government is all about interest.
True.
But before you do this, check. Do
Your research.
your
Investigation.
investigations. You can do this under Biden and you get away with it because Biden was a very weak president. You cannot do this under a Donald Trump and fail to get hot. Understand me? So, BRICS nation is just to a kind of whittle down the might of America. Understand me? It is an organization that China and others form against America. And they are looking at, because now, since the Bretton Woods of 1944, dollar become the universal currency. So this is now a way to whittle down the influence of dollar.
The dollarization.
So if you are joining it, you are among those declaring war against the United States. And for me, I don't know the reason why Tinubu decided to be a member.
In other words, that's not a good thing at this time because of Donald Trump, not because it aligns with interest.
That's one, as a non-allied nation, you can be anywhere. But
True,
that being anywhere is relative. That's
Okay.
what they say, that a friend of my enemy is my enemy.
Okay.
Understand me? So it is based on that. Now the BRICS and America, which one would benefit Nigeria more? This is where that interest comes in.
Okay.
Which one will benefit Nigeria more? Is it the BRICS or is it the United States?
Okay, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Dr. Anosike. Thank you very much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for.
That was Peter Anosike, a current affairs analyst. He's also an academic doctor on consulting and profit management from Auburn University, Delaware, United States. On our international news now, after 21 months of war, there are growing hopes of a new Gaza ceasefire announcement as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meets US President Donald Trump in Washington. Trump previously told reporters he had been very firm with Netanyahu about ending the conflict, that he thought, quote, "we'll have a deal this week." Indirect talks between Israel and Hamas on US-sponsored proposal for a 60-day ceasefire and hostage release deal resumed in Qatar on Sunday evening. However, it is unclear whether key differences that have consistently held up an agreement can be overcome. Only cautious optimism is being expressed by weary Palestinians living in dire conditions and continuing daily Israeli bombardment and the distressed families of Israeli hostages still held by Hamas. On Saturday evening, large rallies took place, urging Israel's government to seal a deal to return some 50 hostages from Gaza, up to 20 of whom are believed to be alive. Some relatives questioned why the framework deal would not free all captives immediately. Kenya is marking its anniversary of pro-democracy allies rallies with police blocking main roads in the capital Nairobi, anticipating protest after last month's demonstrations descended into violent clashes. People rally each year in July 7 to mark the date in 1990 when Kenyans demanded a return to multi-party democracy after years of autocratic rule by then-President Daniel Arap Moi. The protest is called Saba Saba, meaning 7-7 in Kiswahili because of the date. Monday's event comes as young Kenyans angry over economic stagnation, corruption and repeated acts of police brutality are once again engaging in protest that only saw looting and violence, leaving dozens dead and thousands of businesses destroyed. Protesters accuse the authorities of paying armed vandals to discredit the movement, while the government has compared the demonstrations with an attempted coup. On Monday, the streets of Nairobi were eerie quiet after police mounted roadblocks on the main roads, preventing most people from entering the center, with many businesses closed for the day. And then finally on sports, Super Falcons of Nigeria on Sunday beat Tunisia 3-0 in the opening match of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON at the Stade Larbi Zuli in Casablanca, Morocco. The Super Falcons will open the scoring and in the third minute, as well as a well-deserved free kick from Risola Babajide found Aziza Toshola, who headed the ball to give Nigeria the lead. Justin Madugu's charges kept up the pressure and were duly rewarded in the 45th minute of the first half as Babajide, who provided the assist for the first goal, turned goal scorer as she beat the Tunisian goalkeeper for the second goal. She pulled out Diogo Jota's trademark celebration, paying tribute to the Liverpool star who sadly passed away last Thursday alongside his brother Andre Silva. Super Falcons had chances to put the game to bed but couldn't convert, and returnee Ashley Ponter tried her luck with a floating strike from distance, but the Tunisian goalkeeper managed to tip the ball over the bar. The continued pressure paid off for the Falcons as in the 80th minute, the Chinwindu Ihezua finding the bottom corner with a composed left-footed finish to complete the routing. And that's the news, but before we go, here again are the top stories. Peter Obi dismisses rumors of being running mate for Atiku Abubakar in 2027. Almost 85% of coalition leaders are failed Nigerians, YPP says. Nigeria at risk over Trump's proposed extra 10% tariff against the BRICS. 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. Natasha sets to resume Senate duty on Tuesday after court ruling. Olubadan Oba Wolabi Olakunleyin dies at 90. On international news, Netanyahu visits US as Trump puts pressure to agree Gaza ceasefire deal. And then sports, Super Falcons outlast Tunisia 3-0 to kickstart WAFCON campaign. And that ends the news at 12. I am Solomon of FM. Do follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP903FM. Good afternoon and thank you for listening.